Hi, my name is Aneesah Abdullah. I work within the SDG Unit within the Office of the Prime Minister. The unit is tasked with promoting, reporting, and monitoring the SDG implementation within the Bahamas. And it's a recent creation, as recent as this year, actually. And what we've done in the initial stages is we've conducted a capacity review among the government ministries, and we've completed phase one, and that was pretty much interfacing with the governments to understand their relationship with SDG implementation. Our phase two is essentially a deeper dive with ministries, departments, and agencies within the governments and providing policy support, ensuring integration and SDG-informed strategic planning, even staff orientation, and understanding those profiles of those ministries, departments, and agencies and their unique needs and how they relate to the SDGs. A key component of that is partnerships, and that's one thing that we really don't engage with. Having worked with a line ministry, the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, I know that there are partnerships, and as different units within government, we seek to do that individually, and but in a collective fashion or in a coordinated fashion, that doesn't necessarily exist in the way we need it to, and I think the SDGs allows for that because of its interrelatedness. The other thing it allows for is partnerships beyond government and involving academia, civil society, the private sector in a more coordinated way, and just working together to move us toward those goals by 2030. With respect to SDG 13 and climate action, I mean, that for us is a key priority, and it's something that we're hearing these things about climate emergencies, climate crisis declarations. The Ministry of Environment, the Minister of Environment and Housing, he's working closely with a civil society organization to elevate it to that. The Prime Minister at the UN General Assembly, he reiterated, the need to highlight and respond to and effectively deal with and enable SIDS in particular to contend with these new and growing realities, and the need for the international community as a whole to respond to this climate emergency. So, I mean, as a country, it's becoming that much more real for us. The other thing that people often don't realize is how interconnected the SDGs are, and in my former life, and I mean, continuing now, I participated in a post-Hurricane Matthew hurricane assessment, and it was a mission, a gender-based violence mission, just to determine the gendered impacts of climate change. And what we found out was that men and women react to and are impacted differently. I mean, there are issues with, for example, women who are the primary caregivers or the breadwinners who have to move out and leave children behind, creating certain vulnerabilities for those children. There are certain vulnerabilities for girls. There's a general lack of employment, and there are those issues, and they tend to be gendered. When recreational spots are destroyed and different spaces are destroyed, it creates a different layer of vulnerabilities that are gendered. In fact, with coping, there were reports, and of individuals, men cope differently in the aftermath of the disaster than women. And in a lot of cases, particularly on the family islands, the first responders with social services, with the Ministry of Health and so forth, they tend to be women. And these are individuals who also happen to be heads of their households, and they're impacted. I mean, their lives, and the mental health component is also relevant there, because how do you engage in that caregiving?